So let's let me ask you guys each this. What is your dream scenario given everything, like this entire timeline, with 18 and H kills? What's your dream scenario for Halloween Ends, Lind?
Well, I mean, for me, I've always said I think it would be a really cool, awesome way to go out for the Laurie Strode to have the definitive fight with Michael Myers and go down fighting. Very much like the Van Helsing versus Dracula scenario. And then send her off on that kind of hero's way. And you know, and give her, you know, like she fights, you know, and she does her best, and Michael fucking survives. Okay, I'm gonna be a cod. I don't give a shit what she does. She can cut his head off like in Halloween or Halloween H2O. He's gonna survive. But I want to, like, if it's time to move past Laurie Strode, in my opinion. I think it's time to move past Laurie Strode. So I think the best way to do that is to give her the send off she deserves. Resurrection was not it. It was a terrible fucking put together movie. Give her the Van Helsing Dracula send off. I want to see them have the finale moment together, and then ultimately end Laurie Strode. And you know, and I'm not saying Michael be like victorious necessarily, but just to have that climactic moment where it's all building up to that anyway. And then maybe Allison takes over and like wants to hunt the demon down. I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I want.
Even if nobody knows Michael survives, just the audience to know that.
Right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we don't have to do a Mass Effect thing or something where, you know, you see his body breathe for a second, then cut. Or a Man of Steel where you see or not Man of Steel, but like BBS where you see like the rocks come up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think most fans would know like Michael survived. But I just want to see that happen and then move past the Laurie Strode storyline. The Strode family. Move past it.
I like that. I like what you said too. I'd be fine with that too. I think where I'm at now, knowing what I know about the movie, and we all know it's going to be weird. It's not going to be a normal Halloween movie. All the stuff that we know, spoiler-free stuff that we know, it's going to be different. What I'm actually hoping for is that if you think about movies, and like we were just talking about Doctor Strange and how they literally casted Reed Richards based on what fans said. And if you think about how they do stuff like that, and if you look at what fans want and they do what fans want, then how do fans ever get surprised by something new? Like, remember the way you felt when you watched T2 or Aliens, and this movie comes on screen and it gives you something you didn't expect.
Right.
If they always listen to fans and go with like the next logical step, how can they ever surprise anybody and give them something they didn't even know they wanted? So what I'm really hoping, based on what we know, is that they do something weird, fucking strange, out of left field with Michael Myers, and it works. And it's actually something like, oh, fuck, maybe that's why we're fans and you guys get paid millions of dollars to do this, because you surprised us and gave us something we didn't even know we wanted. So that's what I'd like to see. Now, all odds are that if they surprise us and give us something we don't know we wanted, we're going to be fucking pissed and be like, you know, but I would love to be surprised and shocked and pleased with an idea that I couldn't have thought of myself.
Right.
I think that would be cool. Will that happen? I don't know. I'm just saying that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Miguel, honestly, we've learned a little bit more about it since, not spoiler stuff, but since the last time we would have even talked about it. So have your thoughts changed on how you want it to end?
My thoughts on it, no, because I am in the camp of like, you know, just do the final send off, final battle, and then, you know, let the possibility of him being still alive. But I agree with you with you, Mike, in regards to like what we think the directors and what the studios will do. Mainly because like last time I checked, I think that this personally for me, I think this movie will be something that will definitely be controversial, and that's something that will definitely simmer for years to come. Like in the theaters, people like majority or something like that, 50-50, it might be hated and loved, but then like years down the line, like we could dare say like, yo, this is probably one of the best trilogies we've ever seen for Halloween, for that matter. Like Blumhouse really did knock it out of the park. We finally understood what he was trying to do in this movie. But obviously on first glance, we're going to be like, what the fuck was this? or something like that. So I can almost see it going that direction just from what Brad and I have kept keeping up with in regards of like how it's a different tone, or like there's like, you know, all the other stuff, like, you know, with possible character changes and all that stuff. And yeah, I think this is definitely gonna be one movie where they're like you said, like trying something different and it work. They're pretty much like throwing a dart on the dartboard, but blindfolded and with both hands tied behind their back and praying for a bullseye. And for some reason, they might hit a bullseye for some. So
Yeah.
I think that's personally where I think the final chapter of Blumhouse's Halloween might come to an end.
And detractors of that will bring up Rob Zombie's age too. You know, they'll say Rob Zombie tried to do something different. And here's the different. And this is the second thing I really hope for it. As long as they treat the characters right, you can do whatever you want to with the story. Show us something new, but treat the characters right. Do not make fucking, Allison like a piece of shit. Like, do not make Michael Myers a fucking cookie baker or some shit. I don't know. Like, the problem with Rob Zombie's H2, he had cool ideas. He was ballsy and went new places, but he was so mad at the franchise and mad at the fans that he took characters they loved and made them assholes that were unlikable. Like, as long as they don't do that, I'm fine with whatever new you want to do, you know?
First off, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
It was a masterpiece.
They made a goddamn. I read that book. It was a masterpiece. Michael Myers rides around on a goddamn unicorn. Didn't you know? It's a unicorn, and she's not dead. He rides around on a unicorn over the nights of Haddonfield, and he tracks down anybody that would stand in his way, Sheriff.
I need Laurie to look at Allison at some point in this movie and go, if I want her opinion, I'll slap it out of you.
This pen is raped.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is literally, there's a fucking unicorn that floats around in dreams. I didn't know if I was watching Halloween or a Pink Floyd acid dream. But yes,
right?
It's good.
When it turned into Dream World, I was like, bro, like I'm ready for My Chemical Romance to start coming in a marching parade. I was like, whoa.
I'm smelling weed.
Dude, I've always said that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is, and I know like people might hate me for this, but I think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the biggest disappointment in the franchise for me, because the first 20 minutes, like, and if you remember, like, I remember the marketing for that, like the trailer for that movie was sick. Like, and I was like, I mean, the first time I saw that trailer, I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is going to be amazing. I'm so stoked. And I remember like the first 20 minutes is so good. It's like, honestly, it's some of the best footage in the entire franchise.
Yes.
When they're in the hospital and the way he comes around the corner and just looks at the nurse on the ground, and like just that whole thing is amazing. And then the minute that he swings the axe and she wakes up from the dream, like my dad and I were in the theater because he's a big horror fan too, and we were in the theater and he was like, "That's bullshit." And it's just like from that point on, we just.
You know, the only thing that could have saved that moment is if they cut in with Dawkins. It was like, we're the Dream Warriors. Don't like, dream no more.
Honestly, though, you could have done if the rest of that movie would have been like a Halloween Kill scenario where like you get Tyler Mane's Michael just on just a rampage throughout Haddonfield, and Brackett and Loomis are trying to get Laurie out of Dodge. Like, that could have been the shit.
Amazing.
And it just, I don't know. Instead we got Loomis, who I don't know.
Well, it goes back to what Mike was saying. It goes back to, you know, Rob Zombie being pissed off and just wanting to almost like ruin the characters, like the characters that were established by, you know, by John Carpenter and the old school team. Because first off, I fucking hate it. I know I don't want to make this about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because I mean it's your show, obviously. But the fact that John Carpenter, you know, his Loomis was like, he's obviously he's an asshole, but you know he cares. What Rob Zombie did was he literally made by the second one, his Dr. Loomis is more concerned with celebrity and status than giving a fuck about hunting down Michael, because again. In the original Halloween, Loomis is very much concerned with like, you know, no matter what it takes, I'll take down Michael, and that's my only goal. In Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it's like, well, if I can sell my goddamn book, I'll do it. If I don't sell my book, get on my face. Maybe Michael's loose. I blame.
And
the
then you get
goddamn
5 minutes of
Nintendo.
redemption, and that's it. Like at
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
very end when they're like stuck in the
Very
cabin.
end, yeah.
It's
Very
like
And then
I don't know.
Laurie's character got it. I'd say Loomis was the worst. Maybe Michael was the worst. Die! But you know, Loomis is second.
He
And then
spoke, my nuts dropped.
Scout Taylor Compton was so good as Laurie Strode. I like her better than I like her version of Laurie Strode better than the original. I know that's a hot take or whatever, but she had more personality. She was more interesting to me, and she was so good in that first movie. And then the second movie, she wakes up and she's staying with them or whatever, and she has like in Manson We Trust or whatever, like
Oh my
spray
God.
painted. She's obsessed. Like, tell me that a woman, a girl who just had her sweet ass amazing family, her mom and dad murdered brutally by a serial killer, is gonna all of a sudden be obsessed with Charles Manson and think serial killers are fucking cool, dude.
Mhm.
Like all Rob Zombie gave zero thought to that character. All he said was like, I love Charles Manson, so she should too. Like that was it.
Those goddamn kids and their hot topics.
Well, and you know, it's kind of sad because I know a lot of people don't, but I actually like the relationship between Loomis and Michael in his films. Like I know a lot of people argue that they showed too much at Smith's Grove, and like I can kind of I understand that, but like I think it's kind of a cool way to like conclude. Like the climax of the movie still could have been Michael having Laurie in the shack, and when like because Loomis busts up in there and he goes right up to Michael and he's like, she is coming with me, and like he's just like all badass when he walks in there. But like I just like, the screaming die. And even Laurie in that movie gets kind of annoying. She's like, I want my prescription. Like,
I don't give a fuck what you want, bitch. Shut up.
It's like everybody in that movie, except for, I'm not going to lie, except for Annie and Brackett. Brackett is like
perfect.
the saving grace
that's
of
it.
Rob Zombie's
Brad
Halloween
Dourif,
films.
my God.
Killed it. Because he's a good guy. Like he's a good guy just trying to do his best.
Again,
Brad
better
Dourif
bracket
is the
than
best.
the original.
Yes.
Huh?
Mhm.
No.
Rob Zombie created a better bracket than John Carpenter did. I mean, that's just the facts.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Well, Brad Dourif was so great in both movies. I mean, you know, and it never changed. All his character did in the second one was evolve.
Yeah.
Like he evolved.
Yeah.
And then and it was really good. Dude, Brad Dourif is such an, like, again, Mike and I both have said this before, such an underrated actor. People don't understand like how underrated of an actor this guy is. Like this guy was in The Exorcist 3. He did fucking awesome in The Exorcist 3. He was awesome as Brackett in this. And then I look at like Scout Taylor Compton was okay. I think that, you know, and this goes back to a lot of people saying that, well, Danielle Harris didn't get a good send off. Danielle Harris had a lot of scenery to chew up in this movie,
Right.
And she did a really good job. And I don't take anything away from her in her performance, but I feel like this movie could really revolve around Brad Dourif and Danielle Harris's performances as a complete for this movie. Because again, Malcolm McDowell, it's not his fault. Rob Zombie wrote that character like shit. And like, you don't care about that character, you know. You're right, at the end he does show up awesome, but you know, at that point it's like Michael's already said, you know, or he's saying die and shit, like he's goddamn Vader from the WCW, and you're like, oh shit, I'm already checked out now. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry, we really went off in a tangent.
Oh,
we're talking about Rob Zombie because we haven't even got to your thoughts on Halloween Ends.
It's fun. Didn't you yell? Was it at Scarefest? Like, didn't you yell something at Malcolm McDowell?
Oh, dude, yeah, that was the worst experience I've ever had. My nipples went north and south at the same time. We were walking around Scarefest, and I was dressed as Loomis, and we had walked in. I think that was we'd walked in, and I was like, I will cause a chaos scene. Like, I was being stupid because I was like, people didn't know who I was. They're like, this is a crazy guy in a trench coat, and we were walking around. And I was filming Mike as Michael Myers, and then I saw Malcolm McDowell signing autographs, and I was like, "Fake Loomis," and I zoomed.
No, you said imposter Loomis.
Imposter Loomis, yeah. And I zoomed in on him. I was like, "Imposter Loomis," and he looked, dude. That guy.
He heard you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh
think
my
he,
god.
He
he
did a
looked directly at the camera, and he was like looking. He was like, and I was like,
it's in the
"Sorry."
video. It's
I
in
was
the
like-
video.
I
You
was
can
like,
see
sorry
it.
about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Well, I was nervous because there was like signs that said you couldn't like video record or whatever. So
that was Brad's first introduction to horror, to like that HorrorCon thing, because like
Yeah,
he was recording who was it, Bruce Campbell,
Well,
and he was like, oh dude, it's so cool, it's for the vlog, and I shit you not, as soon as it pans to him, he got the biggest like smack in the face or smack in
That's
the
how it
hair.
was,
He was like,
yeah.
no film. I was
we,
like,
we
oh,
did
yeah.
we did like a vlog thing at Scarefest, and like we're walking around, and I turned and I was like, hey, that's Bruce Campbell, and he actually like turned and like went to say hello, and like the minute that he turned to say hello, this woman was like, you can't film me here. I was
God
like,
damn.
oh
No
hey.
pictures.
I was like, okay, well then bye. You know?
Yeah,
It was
I didn't know.
really
I
weird.
didn't know he didn't want to be filmed, but later on we learned there were like obviously there were signs or something. I don't know. I missed it.
Yeah.
I was just walking around being funny, and then I guess I yelled it too loud because my voice carries. And then I was like, imposter Loomis or fake Loomis or whatever. And he
was
looked.
mid-sign.
He was like, it was like this.
That's funny.
It's like,
That's
oh,
pretty
shit.
good.
Bad
That's
news.
awesome, man.
I love it when we get in trouble doing that at Scarefest, by the way, because it's the first time that it works out great for me that I can't talk, because like I'm Michael and like
Right.
Jay's stuck there in that situation. So we get in trouble and someone's like, hey, you can't film here. And I'm like,
First off,
Jay's like,
let's read the Constitution.
yeah.
What's the Constitution say, you imperial asshole? Like,
Oh,
Every
that's
time we go to
awesome,
one of those,
man.
Jay's like, fuck, dude, nobody knows who I am. I'm like, yeah, they do. You later, Lewis. He's like, no, you're fucking Michael Myers. I just look like a weird guy on a
I
tweet.
did. I look
Yelling.
like I look like fucking Dick Tracy following him around, like asking people.
That's awesome, man. We got super sidetracked.
Sorry.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did.
No, it's,
No,
fine.
look,
It's fine, man. This is fun.
but what are your thoughts, man, on Halloween Ends?
Well, personally, I don't know. I'd like to see Michael and Laurie married, sitting on a beach in Bora Bora, drinking like
That
pina
sounds perfect.
coladas.
I want to
think
watch
that's
them
awesome.
fuck. Yeah.
But he
sounds
still
perfect.
wears like the burnt mask, like that. Like he's
As
sitting on
rema-
a beach, like he's sitting on a beach, and some like a waitress and like the luau stuff walks out, and she's like, "Can I get you another pina?" And he's like,
Just say trauma. Just say trauma one more time. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Book your next vacation on Trivago.com.
That's like the ad. No, but I don't know. I think I'm kind of in the minority on this, because I know a lot of people are like, Michael needs to live. Michael needs to live. They need to honor a Cod's like wish or whatever. I'm kind of in the camp that I think if you're going to end, because I'm looking at it from like, this is going to be Jamie Lee Curtis's last. I mean, she's not going to come back and do another one.
No,
Um,
never again. Yeah.
This is her last hurrah. This is the last time we're going to say goodbye to Laurie Strode in that respect. I feel like it would be really poetic for Laurie and Michael to go out together. And like, there's even like my wife, I said, I want to watch a horror movie tonight. And she was like, can we rewatch Halloween Kills? And I was like, first of all, I love you. Second of all, like going back and rewatching it, she even said like, there's like little things that she says where she's like, when Frank is like, it needs to die, and he's all like, whatever, in the hospital bed. And he says it like 10 times.
Just so you don't know.
in case you didn't know, evil dies tonight. But she even says a few times, she's like, and I'm gonna be the one to do it. And she's like, I have to finish this. Like she always comes back, even when she realizes that Sartain was the one that brought Michael to her, and that he didn't like seek her out. It's still she always makes it about herself. So I kind of feel like it would be poetic for Laurie and she's being selfish. I feel like it would be really it'd be really poetic for her and Michael to go out together. Like for them to like she's gonna like, I feel like it'd be cool for her to have a moment to realize like the only way to really stop this, the only way to really save Allison and to really put an end to this for Haddonfield is if she goes out with him. I feel like that would be really poetic. And I don't care how they do that. I mean, I know it's going to be different.
They both dive into a lava pit, and Laurie gives
Well,
the
that'll
thumbs
definitely
up
solve the
at the
problem.
end.
And then Michael's hand comes up with the thumb.
I know, right? Again, you get the. It's just like.
And I think you can actually kill Michael now too. Like I think that's different than what it was then.
Yeah.
Like because now this is a James Bond situation. Like Michael can die in this franchise, but I think what Akkad wanted was that you can never really truly kill Michael off. So this storyline is done. We're never going back to it again.
Yeah.
So Michael can die at the end of this movie, and I'm not going to be mad about it. Although I want him to win because that's fucked up, but. I want him to win. I don't want him to kill Allison. I'd rather see Allison kill him because I agree. Andy's done with this and all that. But like, even if they kill Michael in this, I won't be mad because now we're in a Batman James Bond situation where whatever comes next is going to be a brand new iteration of Michael. So in theory, Michael will really never die. Just like, we saw James Bond die at the end of the last movie, but he's not fucking dead. They're going to make a new James Bond movie. So it's cool.
Well, you also look at like this trilogy. It's a Blumhouse trilogy. It's like the Nolan trilogy for Batman. Like it's separate. I mean, they had their story, and now you can go anywhere you want. Mike and I actually talked about that before. Like, where do we go after Halloween Ends? Do you do a sequel to Resurrection? If does a director be like, all right, well, I'm just going to take the storyline up from where it left off and then just do another sequel, or do you start a reboot? That's an interesting question overall because, but yeah, I agree. I think that I don't mind. I fucking hate it. Okay. I'm going to cry for like 7 days if Michael dies in Halloween Ends, but if he does, I mean, I would only put it in, it's the Blumhouse trilogy versus the actual overall trilogy or the overall like storyline or something. You can do a lot with that.
Right.
I could agree with you on that because Halloween 2018 almost seems like a standalone film. Like it does. Yeah, it talks about like what happened in the original, but like if the original didn't exist, you could honestly tell what happened back then in Halloween 2018. So like, yeah, I could see how this could definitely be like the Blumhouse trilogy. And I like the fact that we're all kind of like understanding the fact that like directors are going to have their trilogies of certain things, like the Sammy trilogy or the Nolan trilogy or what was the other one? The Wash trilogy or whatever with like No Way Home and all that stuff. So like it's nice to know that we can finally like understand that aspect, because I know back then it was like it all has to be linear. Like there's it's like one after another. That's why we have like several different types of Halloween movies and like a number of Nightmare on Elm Street's movies. So like I'm glad that now we can actually like have directors be able to tell their own story and then pass it on to someone else, I suppose. So
I agree.
Totally
Mike,
agree.